go right to the lead. We go right to the top. We're talking about the individual MVP of the singles division for the men and the women. We'll start with the men. And from our end, it is Solo Sikoa,
Yep.
MVP of SmackDown. Dom, we both
Yep.
agreed on this one. We both had
Yep.
Solo Sikoa. Go ahead and tell us a little bit about why you chose Solo Sikoa.
He came into his own as a guy who could carry an angle and who could be the flashpoint. He's great on the mic. He's got a great look. We already knew he could wrestle. That was previous years. In fact, the last year's award show, I think he was our most improved wrestler because he started to do a little more on the mic, and as they showcased him more in the ring, you could see that this guy could really go. But now with his mic skills, if we were grading, he'd be an A. He's the total package, and what I think makes him the MVP is that he's a true heel. He's not a heel who's trying to be a tweener. He is a true heel, and you need that. Like the Roman Reigns babyface turn doesn't work unless Solo Sikoa is a true heel and succeeds at it. He feels like a main event heel, and I think that's my MVP on a in a wrestling landscape that's full of guys who are either baby faces or tweeners. I think having a real heel at the top who can do everything that's the most valuable thing for a brand.
Yeah. And for him, for Solo's perspective, for Solo Sikoa, he's been a very good heel in that there's been no questions about whether he's a heel or a face. And to your point, Dom, it seems like in modern wrestling there is this gray area that oftentimes you can't tell if they're a heel. Are they like a cool heel? Rhea Ripley did this for a while. She was on, and they finally turned her face. But he is way on that side of the tracks where you're like, this is the guy to boo, and he's played the role well. From my perspective, specifically this year, his mic skills have improved a lot. And I should say either they were already there and they weren't being utilized, or they're just good. He doesn't seem nervous or flustered when he's up there on the mic. He doesn't ramble on too often. And there is like a serious tone to him that makes it feel realistic. The look's amazing with the bleach blonde hair and the tattoos and the Samoan look, like no questions asked. So always had a great look. And then the in-ring skills continue to be strong for him, So I think he's added that layer where he has a little bit more of a character now. Before he was stiff, not really a stiff, but strong silent type, where now that they're letting him flash his characters.
And I think we're going to hear more from Solo Sikoa later on this awards program as well. It's tough to be the MVP and not be mentioned elsewhere in addition to that.
Perfect. So there's our MVP from the men's side. But we're not going to forget about the women's side, which is debatably stronger than the men's side. I think you can go back and forth here. So I'll kick it to you first. Who is your MVP, Dom?
I'm going to say Nia Jax. I think the best program on the women's side has been Nia Jax and Tiffany Stratton, their weird alliance. It's been a lot of fun. Like you mentioned, the women's division on SmackDown has occasionally gotten main event status on the 2-hour program every Friday night. It is deserving so. The women can really wrestle. And I chose Nia as the MVP. There are other good people to choose. Tiffany Stratton, the person she's in the storyline with, and Bianca Belair. So there have been Bailey had a great run this year. There have been a lot of great people you could have chosen. I chose Nia for the same reason I chose Solo Sikoa. She improved enough on the mic, and she is a true heel. She's not doing tweener stuff. I think it's so important that there be a real heel in the top mix there at the top of the card. And of course, she has the WWE Women's Championship belt at the moment, and she's carrying it well. She's doing what you need to solidify the top of the card as a heel. Like everybody else has been able to either be babyface or tease babyface because Nia Jax is so good as a heel.
Totally. Again, similar to Solo, right? Where she's a true heel. And
my MVPs are the same cookie cutter. Like it's the same problem, and these guys each solve that problem.
Yeah. Nia's been a really strong character. From my perspective, and I know I was watching a little bit before you were, because we started watching around the same time again, but I was like watching maybe like a couple years earlier. Nia Jax had gotten critiqued ruthlessly throughout her whole career. And she's been teased ruthlessly throughout her whole career. And ultimately, she's really proven herself at this point and really gotten improved a lot. So I'm excited to see that she's in that level where you can consider her an MVP, which is great to see. Like her kind of shut up the IWC, the Internet Wrestling community.
Yep.
And you know who they are. They're the guys out there that are going to be the ones that make a living trashing people. Have been all over her. And some of that stuff's funny and but it's at a certain point it's good to get that she's getting her flowers here and has had a good title run. So that's your MVP. I had a different MVP. And we've both been high on her. Really surprising too from my perspective, but Tiffany Stratton coming from NXT up into WWE SmackDown has really shown off her skill set and has done a great job. A lot of things for me is she's a total package. She has the look, which everyone kind of has the look when they come up from NXT, right? So everyone basically has the look. She's great in the ring. She relies on her athleticism and her like gymnastics background, but she doesn't use it as a crutch. She's not just flipping around in there. And I don't even really like flippy wrestling, but I think the way she utilizes it's great. She's got that Alabama slam that is just so stiff and so nasty. It looks great. And on top of that, her character can go either way, and either you dislike her or you like her. With her kind of bimbo, old school, goofy, blonde character, she really pulls it off, and she knows how to interact with the crowd. There's like tons of footage online of her saying something directly to the crowd that's not scripted. She's improvising in there. So she's a natural, and she has been a pleasure to watch this year. So she is my MVP from the women's section. So those are the two big awards. We got Nia Jax and Tiffany Stratton for the women's side, and we both agree on Solo Sikoa.
We also, I think, agree on the storyline of the year, since we just mentioned both of them. It's Nia and Tiffany